Good morning, guys. Welcome back to my channel. And it's Come On Shine. And today I came up with a very important and very famous play, that is The Way of the World by William Congreve. So it's quite a confusing play, so please listen carefully. I tried my best to make it clear to you. So now let's get started with the introduction part. So The Way of the World is a play by William Congreve. As I told before, it was published in March 1700 at London. The setting of the play is also in London. So basically, it is a comedy and widely regarded as one of the best restoration comedies. So now I'd like to focus on the character part. There are 5 major characters: Arabella, Mirabelle, Fainall, and Millamant, and lastly Lady Wishfort. And one or two more characters come in the play that I will discuss in video itself. So let us get started with the story part. So the story begins like this. Actually, Arabella's husband was died, but he left enough wealth for her. Actually, more than enough wealth. After his death, she comes in relationship with Mirabelle. So Mirabelle here was her lover. But she got married with Fainall. Later she got married with Fainall. On the other hand, Mirabelle was scared that what if Arabella get pregnant, because they were having intimation relationship also. So Mirabelle was scared so much that what if she would get pregnant after marriage. But later he moved on and started being in touch with Arabella's cousin, who was Millamant, who was staying with Lady Wishfort, and Lady Wishfort was Arabella's mother. Okay? So here Mirabelle thought to establish relationship with Millamant, he must has to impress Lady Wishfort. So he started roaming around Lady Wishfort. In other words, he started taking care of Lady Wishfort. But Lady Wishfort misunderstandingly thought that he loves her. And this misunderstanding was removed by her friend Mrs. Marwood. That Mirabelle loves Millamant, not her. Means Mrs. Marwood told Lady Wishfort that he loves Millamant, not you. By listening this, she was burst into anger and said that she will never ever agree for their marriage. Here guys, you can ask that what is the need of Lady Wishfort's permission to their marriage? So the reason was money. If Lady Wishfort gives permission to their marriage, then they will be given £6,000. Remember, £6,000. Now one day there was party organized at Lady Wishfort's house, and Mirabelle also reached there. And in that party, Lady Wishfort kind of insulted Mirabelle and said him to go from here. And Mirabelle was upset by all these incidents. But he was not upset that Lady Wishfort has insulted him. But he was upset that Millamant didn't say a single word to Wishfort in favor of him. He was sad with this fact that Millamant, why didn't Millamant say anything at that point? And now Mirabelle took oath that one day he will obligate Lady Wishfort to give permission for their marriage. And then he started making plannings that what he can do to make her agree. Here Lady Wishfort had a servant named Foible. She was knowing some secret about Fainall. Fainall was son-in-law of Lady Wishfort because he married to Arabella. So what Mirabelle did? Mirabelle get a Foible married to his servant, Waitwell. Okay? So now guys, come to the next scene. And in this scene, Mirabelle and Fainall were playing cards together. Though they were enemy, but still they were playing cards. And in the course of the play, Mirabelle was giving hint to Fainall that he knows some secret of about his relationship with Marwood. Means Fennel was in relationship with Marwood secretly, and this secret Mirabel was knowing now. Foible said to him. So, guys, the secret was Fennel's relationship with Mrs. Marwood. On the other hand, listen here very carefully. Mirabel was making plan to defeat Wishfort, as I told before, in which he converted one of his servant, means he disguised one of his servant to Sir Roland, a very wealthy man, to whom Lady Wishfort getting married to Millamant. And this news was revealed by one of his servant in front of Fennel when they were playing cards. Now, Mirabel's plan was going smoothly until and unless Mrs. Marwood came to know about his plans. And she directly conveyed this to Fennel, her lover. Before moving forward, one thing I'd like to disclose here, that when Arabella was getting married to Fennel, at that time, she made Mirabel's trustee of her property. Arabella made Mirabel's trustee of her property because she had doubt that Fennel can cheat on her one day, maybe. So now come again to the point. After knowing Mirabel's plan, Fennel became the super duper villain in the story. Now, Fennel was a villain. He started blackmailing Lady Wishfort that Arabella was having an affair with Mirabel before her marriage. So you cheated on me, right? Means Fennel started blackmailing Lady Wishfort. You cheated on me. And now you have to surrender all your fortune and property to me, including your daughter's share also. Otherwise, I'll be publicly insult to you and your family and your daughters. Alright? Fennel started saying all these to Lady Wishfort and started blackmailing her. At this time, Millamant agreed to marry Sir Wilful. This is the new character. She thought at least her share of money won't be taken. Lady Wishfort was very worried and helpless, and at meantime, Mirabel came and gave her a condition. Lady Wishfort was watching. Lady Wishfort was watching in front of her eyes that her property is just disappearing in front of her eyes. So meantime, Mirabel came and gave her a condition that if she gives him permission to marry Millamant, he can rescue. So she asked how. Then he conveyed the plan. He conveyed his plan that he will flourish Fennel's secret relationship with Mrs. Marwood. By this news, she was not very much convinced that it's not very much a strong plan to blackmail him. Then he revealed that Arabella made him the trustee of her share of property, and by this she convinced. Okay, when Mirabel disclosed that Arabella made him the trustee of her share of property. Now, after knowing this, Lady Wishfort gave permission to Mirabel that he can marry Millamant, and Sir Wilful also get them married. He was a gentleman. And at last, Mirabel gave Arabella's share to her and said that only your property is the way to keep your greedy husband, in control. And that's the end of this story. I hope you liked it.